Welcome back to Ocarina of Time 3D. It's been a long time coming, but we finally have all three spiritual stones. Of course, the Yetis and those stuck-up ancient robot bastards would give us theirs, but the Door of Time only really needs 3 spiritual stones in order to open, so it's all good, really. MBM, clue our viewers in on what usually goes down at this point in a Zelda game, please.
But of course, it's standard in Zelda games that after you collect the first 3 quest items, there's a shift in the plot, and it's usually accompanied by getting the Master Sword. In A Link to the Past, when you get 3 Pendants of Virtue, you can enter the Dark World. In Wind Waker, when you get the 3 Goddess Pearls, you visit Hyrule. And in Twilight Princess, when you get 3 pieces of the Fused Shadow, you're able to change between Wolf and Human Link at will. The only glaring exception to this rule is in Skyward Sword, where after you collect 3 pieces of the Ancient Tablet, a big whopping nothing happens.
So after getting the first 3 quest items in Skyward Sword, you get disappointment.
Just like the rest of the game.
Oh snap, but we're not going to cover Skyward Sword here. If you want to see what it's all about, go watch my solo playthrough.
The fact that there is such a similarity between all these plots could indicate that there's a direct link between the artifacts, minus the Fused Shadows, because those are obviously something different entirely, or, and this could just be me going on a limb and talking crazy, could be an example of the designers trying to make the plot so similar because it's actually a retelling of the same legend as opposed to multiple different quests scattered across some stupid timeline whose sole purpose is to engross and enrage nerds on the internet.
That would imply that Nintendo understands and can implement foreshadowing effectively, and MBM, even you, are not that crazy, you speedrunning mofo.
Damn it, I thought I had unlocked the conspiracy. I was going to steal the Declaration of Independence and all that shit, but no.
Now, I don't know what Link thought he was going to accomplish by brandishing a butter knife at Ganondorf here, but he just got Hadouken to the face, so, yeah, I guess that's what happens.
Guess having futuristic dreams and knowing what's going to happen didn't help him out this time. Maybe he needs the Monado.
Speaking of, why doesn't that ever come into play again? I mean, he gets prophetic visions at the start of the game, but it's never, delved into at any other point in the game.
Nope. A lot of powers Link has at the beginning are never explained. And really, I don't like the fact that he even has them in the first place. I like it more when the Link is set up as just a normal kid doing normal shit and just happens to get thrown on a quest. With this, the fact that he has the prophetic dreams just singles him out already as saying this child is special.
He doesn't really act like a kid either. He seems like an adult in a child's body, which, when you see what happens in maybe a few minutes' time, is actually very apt.
You're having some issues there with the diving.
I know, I was never very good at diving, but snagging loot, oh, perfect. Perfect!
And oh boy, a time manipulating potato. Time to throw out this dusty old one. Off screen you don't see it. Sorry, just fell over writhing in pain at the feeling of her friendship falling apart.
I felt a great disturbance in the Force, as if he used the Sun Song and maybe Zelda's Lullaby a few times, and then cast my trinket away.
Aw, poor Saria. Don't worry, hopefully we'll see her later on in the game.
I'm sorry, but this Ocarina allows us to play through the most bitching Zelda game in existence, and I ain't talking about Ocarina.
Oh snap!
Oh, we should probably be careful not to criticize Ocarina of Time, otherwise we'll go to the same place that Zelda's standing in right now. Speedrunner's Limbo.
Wow. Well, if you pay attention to YouTube comments, apparently speedrunners are dead on the inside because they don't play through the whole game and read the story every single time they play the game.
I know, right?
Here we have another song known only by the members of the royal family. Not only will we be using it to solve future puzzles, but it can also allow us to warp through time as opposed to just changing the time of day. Suck on that sharpened flag, you damn Mario wannabes.
Oh snap, more like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Told. No? Okay then.
Zelda, where are you? Come back here, we had a deal. I got the stones. You got the ocarina, open the door, we were gonna end this game right here. But then she flaked. Just like all the women in my life.
Well, there's one constant in your life, one that will never abandon you, MPM, and that is the drawbridge.
Oh, I love the drawbridge. We missed out on this last time. But yes, there is an infinite number of rupees if you hop along the chains and then jump off of the top. But more importantly, and this is so cool because this was actually discovered after we started this playthrough, the drawbridge works on quantum physics. You know how normally the drawbridge closes at night? Well, it turns out that so long as you don't look at it, the drawbridge never actually closes. Even if it turns night and you hear the sound of the drawbridge being pulled up, you can still walk up onto the chains where it meets the ground. Then, once you look at the bridge, it warps where it's supposed to be when it's closed. The drawbridge is both open and closed, and it's only once you observe it that the wavelengths collapse and the drawbridge truly closes. It's literally Schrodinger's drawbridge.
This is something I missed on my first time through the game, mostly because it's out of the way.
Most people miss this. I missed this a lot until I played it years ago.
Obviously, stuff like this is nowhere near as horrifying as what you'd be seeing in Majora's Mask and to a lesser extent Twilight Princess, but as this is like one of the only examples of something macabre, shall we say, happening, it's kind of jarring, especially because you've just seen someone die in front of you. Not explode, fade away and give you money, just literally die.
Whoa, died? Who died? That guy was taking a nap. Come on, Tom. Navi said he wasn't moving because people don't move when they take naps. Duh, everyone knows that. I never really got why the Temple of Time is located so close to the market. I always prefer it when it's tucked away in the Lost Woods, hidden, because it houses such an important plot point.
Not only that, but it must be a hell of a bitch to relocate this thing every 30 years or so, just taking it down brick by brick, and they don't even have trucks in ye old Zelda land. What, are they going to transport it via birds or something? No, that's just silly.
I do love how the music in the Temple of Time sounds like monks chanting. You can actually hear voices in this. Most of the music in the other areas is just instrumental, but in this, it sounds like there's actual voices singing.
Indeed, very atmospheric. And might I just say, I love the redesign of the Temple of Time. They've pretty much like added in chandeliers, moved the pillars away from the wall, and the whole thing just looks really snazzy.
There's actually a weird glitch here, not really beneficial to everyone, but you can get the 3 spiritual stones stuck together during this cutscene, and they'll land in the middle of the pedestal. It's like, congratulations, you got the Kikiri Rondo Sapphire. It is the ultimate spiritual stone. So you don't even need the Master Sword. Just take that rock and chuck it again in his face. Break his gem, break his nose, game over. Also, in the original, this was fixed in 3D. In the original, you were actually able to skip getting the spiritual stones and could clip pretty much behind the Door of Time. It was one of the biggest skips found. And it's mostly because the Door of Time is literally just a block in a shelf, and so there's little tiny seam gaps that you can clip through, but just watch out because there's an abyss around it.
And so the door to what we could call Act 2 of Ocarina of Time opens. Not the most exciting moment in the Zelda franchise, but this was a big thing for me back in the day. I don't know, maybe I just get excited by doors opening.
Well, you know what they say, Tom, when one door opens, another door closes.
I think you may have misinterpreted that metaphor somewhere along the line. Behold, the sword of evil's bane, the light that pierces the darkness, the mistress of tutorials who would never shut the fuck up!
You're still bitter about Skyward Swords, huh?
Sword, MBM, singular. Because if there's one thing that'd drive me to hang myself with the cable of an N64 controller, it would be 2 phis. Double phi, if you will. Boom.
Oh, right on time. I was wondering when Commander I Am Evil was gonna put his plan into motion.
So basically we've been doing Ganondorf's work for him. I, for one, am shocked, and frankly, I'm actually proud of the King of Hyrule for allowing this guy so close to the throne, especially the part where he allowed Ganondorf to keep an eye on Zelda so he could eventually try to kidnap her and fail miserably.
Maybe next time just put rat poison in the king's cereal and blame it on Impa. It seems a more effective way of getting what you want.
That's silly, MBM. Silly as getting a giant bird to do your dirty work for you, or a deranged man-child who was cool up until 5 minutes before his boss fight. God motherfucking damn it!
We feel your pain, Tom. We feel your pain.
Oh Christ, who left the tap running?
Shit, Hyrule's flooded! It's Wind Waker! This probably is where it all started.
Great, now we're going to need a game that comes between Ocarina and Wind Waker to explain this shit. I'll call it Valley of the Flood. Nah, that sounds stupid.
Okay, so I pulled a sword, there was a flashy light, and now I'm waking up with an old guy staring at me. Just need to check if everything's still okay.
How old is Link meant to be right now? Do I have to phone Chris Hansen or someone similar? You know, a Zelda equivalent?
Nintendo recently released that young Link is actually meant to be 9 years old, and adult Link is meant to be 16.
And in the original version of Ocarina, I think young Link was 10 and adult Link was 17, right?
That was actually only in the strategy guide.
Sons of bitches, it's Hyper Shadow all over again.
So now we're officially the hero of time. Before, we were just some kid that was saving everyone and doing really cool shit. Also, 7 years? Holy shit, I either smell absolutely terrible, or this guy was bathing me regularly while I was asleep. Either way, I'm kinda not digging the two options.
Oh dude, the place is filled with cascading water. I think taking a shower ain't gonna be a problem.
Also, even weirder is that Link has an earring.
Unlike in Skyward Sword, the earring doesn't really do anything, so maybe he just wanted to accessorize Link as he slept? Okay, that sounds really bad.
So this cutscene pretty much tears the geography of Hyrule apart. To summarize, this is the Chamber of Sages, which is inside the Temple of Light. But the Temple of Light's not in Hyrule, it's in the Sacred Realm. And that threw me off for so long, it's like, wait, is the future the Sacred Realm? I don't get it. We got the Light Medallion for doing absolutely nothing. And you know what that means. Cut content!
Yeah, I heard that you could take a flying version of Epona to the Light Temple.
I heard that if you pushed a truck and got the Mew and then traded to Ocarina of Time, then you could go to the Light Temple.
Yeah, I was making a joke, but that actually was one of the oldest Ocarina of Time rumors I ever heard.
Was it? I didn't really know a lot of the old Ocarina rumors. I was engrossed in all the Gen 1 Pokemon rumors and shit.
Well, I don't think you were even born when the original Ocarina came out.
What the hell, dude? I was plenty old. I got it for a Christmas present. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait until Twilight Princess before Nintendo actually adds a dungeon aspect to the Temple of Time. Also really cool is that the symbol on the Light Medallion is extremely similar to the pattern of rocks on the ground surrounding a magical warp tile leading to the Dark World on the top of Death Mountain in A Link to the Past.
I still need to finish A Link to the Past. I'll get to it someday. Not even going to comment on the ninja who just came out of nowhere.
Okay, fine, we'll comment on more ninjas. This is Sheik. He's the second Sheikah introduced in the series. And yeah, great job naming him. He's a Sheikah named Sheik.
Actually, Sheik is my first name. Ah is my second name.
But he's pretty cool. He moves the plot along. This first cutscene, all he does is let you know where the first few dungeons are. And in the end, you're just left with several questions regarding your sexuality after the encounter. I mean, seriously, do you see his butt? It's a pretty nice butt.
Sometimes you worry me, MBM. Yes, worry is the right word.
A girl I know? Sorry, Sheik, you're gonna have to be way more specific than that. In case you haven't noticed, I've gotten around with about half of Hyrule.
I really like how Sheik spouts exposition, and yet doesn't ask you if you want to hear it again. It's a refreshing change of pace, really.
Take notes, Kaporia. This is how you get shit done.
That's all the time we have for this part of Ocarina 3D. Please join us next time where we head out into the Hyrule of 7 years in the future and see just what Ganondorf's been doing to our old stomping grounds. See you all then.